Good morning, Facebook world. Hope y'all had a fantastic weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers. Massive shout out to my mom. Got to spend some quality time with her this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Couldn't say enough good things about your mom. Seriously. We threw some stuff up there on Facebook this weekend, but that certainly doesn't do it justice for all the times you sacrificed, prayed, believed, invested, spoken life, paid bills, made it possible for me to live out the calling that God has placed on my life to make Jesus famous in all the earth. So thankful for you and the memories we got to make, along with the mother of my children, Kara, and the rock star woman that you are in loving our children and helping them know who Jesus is at a very early age. Speaking of moms, we were hanging out yesterday. Quick plug to Irregardless Cafe. We went and hung out there yesterday after church, and we had a little bit of a wait. I'm sure some of you experienced that as well. And to occupy my adventurous son, Braden, we decided to go for a little walk, get some steps in, killed 2 birds or 3 birds with a stone. We're waiting, we're counting some steps, and we're occupying my son. Nonetheless, we find some railroad tracks down there off of Morgan Street, and we start walking the railroad tracks. First time Braden had been on the railroad tracks, and he starts to see some spray paint. He's like, "Oh, look, Dad, it's cool. They've like spray painted everything. This is like awesome." I'm like, "Well, it is creative. That's for sure. But son, that's called vandalism. So we're not going to participate in that. But nonetheless, it is very, very cool and creative. But it's not the best place to do it because it's not our own stuff. But nonetheless, it started a conversation. We enjoyed walking the railroad tracks, and all of a sudden, we noticed a apartment complex over there to the right-hand side, and we saw some people out there. And Braden just said, "Hey, Dad, look at those people over there. I wonder if they know about Jesus." I said, "I wonder," but he said, well, maybe we should go tell them. And I said, "Well, maybe we should." That sounds like a great plan, Braden. That was not even on my thoughts. You know, I'm here just trying to spend time with Mom and trying to make her feel special and whatever she wants to do. And I'm learning a lesson about love from my 7-year-old. Who wants to go love on some strangers, some people who just live right beside the railroad tracks. And I said, well, you know, maybe we should bring them some food. Maybe we should show them that we love them first before we start teaching them something. I always say that they need to see something before you say something. Say that again. Somebody needs to hear that this morning, that they need to see something in you before you say something to them. Our content needs to be on the back burner. We don't need to lead with content. We don't need to lead with a message. Jesus didn't say that they'll know we're his disciples by our message. He said they'll know we're his disciples by the way we love people. And so we brought some stuff from the Irregardless Cafe over there. And but before that, I didn't know if he was just kind of throwing the idea out there. But Braden actually prayed over our meal. And during the prayer over our meal, Braden said, "And Jesus, please help those people that we're going to tell about you to believe in you." I'm like, come on, somebody. That's what I needed to hear. Man, this guy, Braden, hadn't stopped thinking about it. And then we go use the restroom, and we get out of the restroom, and he's like, "You know, Dad, I was thinking, this is really going to be awesome." What's going to be awesome? When we get to go tell them about Jesus. I'm like, it's good, buddy. So we go and bring them some food over from the Irregardless Cafe. We find where the apartment complex is by car. We get out. We meet T. We meet Nisha. And just a few minutes later, we meet a guy named Anthony. And I introduce him to Big B, even though Braden said, no, Dad, my name's Braden. I said, don't worry about it, son. But yes, his name's Braden, but we also call him Big B. But nonetheless, and then Jake got out of the car, and we introduced him to him, and we just had a good time getting to know him. Their guards were up for about the first 15 seconds, and after that, we had a fantastic conversation. I tried to be conscious of my mom and my sister sitting in the car, but nonetheless, I got their phone numbers. We really connected about some things that they were going through, some things that were difficult. Remember, we always want to ask questions to get to people's brokenness and to get to people's emptiness. Okay? One of the best things that you can learn when you're loving people is just how to relate to them, how to be a friend, how to listen to their story. And some people will share and some people won't. But a lot of it has to do with the questions that you ask. I understand Holy Spirit's a big part of it. We want to go in the strength, the power, the wisdom, the discernment of Holy Spirit, and only Holy Spirit really tills the soil or works in behind the scenes. So we always are leaning in on Holy Spirit. But in the practical, that's the spiritual, Holy Spirit. In the practical, is learning how to ask good questions. Asking questions about them, not waiting for you to respond, and just questions to get to their brokenness and emptiness, because everybody's broken or empty in some way. And so we get to know these guys, and Braden's just taking it all in. He's just observing everything. And by the end of it, long story short, Nisha had been gotten pregnant recently, and the father of the baby, he just got locked up yesterday. And that was a real tough reality for her. And so another place of brokenness. I said, Nisha, I'd love to pray with you today. And that turned into all three of the guys circling around. We held hands right there in that apartment complex. And we blessed them. We spoke life over them. We prayed freedom over them. We prayed deliverance, all things new, encounters with His love. It was a beautiful thing, for sure. One of the guys, actually well before I even said anything about praying or Jesus or anything like that, I didn't tell him where I was from. I just told him I was Dave. He had no idea who I was, which is probably better anyways. And he said, where do you go to church? I said, well, why do you ask? I'm glad you asked, but why do you ask? He says, I can just tell you go. He saw something before I said something. He said, there's just something about you. There's something about the way, there's something about your demeanor. It's a breath of fresh air. Remember, we're shining light in darkness, but it took a 7-year-old to make me look that way. My encouragement this morning, and by the way, this is just the beginning of relationship building with Nisha, with T, and with Anthony. Listen, people aren't projects. People aren't a checklist to say, oh, well, we tried over there, or we love them over there, or we're done over there. People are process. People are individuals to be pursued and loved outrageously. This is why it's so vital for you to learn how to be loved by the Father. Because as you are loved by the Father, then you have a reservoir of love to love people with. Loving people isn't a 1, 2, 3 class to learn. It's a everyday encounter with the Father, and that love then serves as a platform, as a motivation, as a I got to share this with somebody kind of desire inside of us. So if we're really talking about, again, making Monday matter, it really comes back to you being still and being loved by a good Father this morning. who's crazy in love with you. But the lesson we really, or the idea, the concept, or the truth that we really want to pull out this morning is God, give me eyes to see. It wasn't really even on my radar to go talk to something. Like, it wasn't even a thought, believe it or not. I was just focused on spending some quality time with my son, which, again, is my number one ministry. Which was good. We had some good talks on the railroad tracks and all that, and it obviously ended up into a great memory that we'll never forget. But sometimes we just miss opportunities because it's just not even on our radar. Like, we're just getting stuff done today. It's going to be a crazy day, the start of the week. I can't believe what's going to be in my email. I can't believe the stuff that's going to be on my desk. I just know it's going to be crazy. Well, there might be a lot. But don't let your checklist, don't let the emails, don't let the stuff on your desk, don't let the things that the enemy wants to overwhelm you with accomplish his purpose. My prayer for you is that God would overwhelm what is going to overwhelm you today. That God would overwhelm what's going to overwhelm you today. Overwhelm it with peace, overwhelm it with perspective, overwhelm it with joy in the middle of the process. And so I love what David said in Psalm 73:12. He said, take a good look. Some of you need to take a good look at people today. What I mean by that is not to take a good look at their problems. See, when you see people's problems, you'll complain. But when you see people's pain, you'll show compassion. Take a good look at people's pain today. Take a good look at people's hurt, at people's wounds. Take a good look. One of my mentors, Michael Thompson, he said this. He said, don't ask the question, what's wrong with them? Ask the question, I wonder what happened to them. I wonder how they've been hurt, broken, lied to, abandoned, mistreated. I wonder how they've been unloved. I wonder how they've been mishandled. I wonder how they need to be loved back to life. I wonder how they need to be hugged, listened to. I wonder how they need to be prayed for, spoken life into. That's a different perspective this morning. And when you have that perspective, I promise you, you're going to make Monday matter. Remember, love like a 7-year-old.